Hey everybody, it's Chris back with another review for the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. If you're a regular viewer, thank you for coming back. My story is I like to review craft beers. I like to keep my beers around the $2 range. Now, I don't always succeed because with just about any other hobby, you're going to end up having to spend some money, a little bit more money than you normally do sometimes. But nonetheless, I'm trying to prove on this channel that you don't have to spend gobs of money in order to enjoy good craft beer, that there's plenty of quality craft beers out there that don't cost a lot of money. And so, like I said, I usually try and keep my beers around the $2 range. So, uh, today's selection is a special, this is a special series that I'm participating in. My friend Jim Robbins of Jim Robbins Photography, if you ever get a chance, check him out on either Facebook or Instagram. That's Jim Robbins Photography. Anyway, he hit me to some cannabis-infused beers. And today's selection, out of a six-pack that had a variety of 5 in it, is the Tropical Infamy Wheat. It has a less than 0.5 ABV, so as you can see, it's almost a non-alcoholic beer. For those who are unaware, non-alcoholic beer can and in fact does contain alcohol. It has to actually call itself a no-alcohol beer in order to be completely devoid of alcohol. So this is a 0.5 ABV, 10-ounce can. I'm sorry, I don't have a price point for it because it was a gift, and that's kind of the case with these. When it comes to being a gift, you just don't have a price point. A little bit of research on this, I've discovered that only one of my friends, Bear Dinosaur, has actually reviewed this on Untapped. He gave it a 3.5. Only 14 people combined on Untapped have reviewed this, given it a 3.46. Absolutely no reviews on Beer Advocate that I could find, at least not recently. No, of course, as I say this, naturally somebody's going to go and put one up immediately, but I did not see any there. Two Roots is a San Diego brewer. Those of you who are in the craft beer world know that in much the same way that, say, Boston is to the East Coast, or Milwaukee is to Middle America, San Diego is to the West Coast when it comes to the haven of craft brewers. In fact, there are more breweries in San Diego than any other county in the Union. So there you have it. So I went to Two Roots' website, did a little bit of research on their beer. This is described as a Hefe at heart, so that's not a surprise. It is a wheat beer. This has noble hops and modern U.S. aroma hops. So I'm not exactly sure which aroma hops those are, but there you have it. So let's dig in, shall we? And this is kind of a complicated. Uh, yeah. Okay, it's kind of. It's complicated, but not overly complicated. I mean, I figure if a dummy like me can figure out how to open it, then it can't be that difficult. But it did give me pause, I will admit that. So we're pouring this, and you are seeing very much just about the exact color of what I'm seeing here. Now, the last one that I reviewed from this series was an IPA. I'd have to say that its head was even more flimsy than this. This is not a particularly robust head. Seems to have a lot of carbonation, especially for a wheat. I mean, look at all those bubbles there. I have to say that this has more carbonation than the IPA did. So let's give this a quick whiff. It's cold here in Vegas. That's why I'm wearing this sweater, gang. It's actually kind of cold here. Okay, so I'm smelling an orange, and I'm smelling a little bit of wheat, but honestly, I'm smelling more orange than anything. A lot of citrus, tiny bit of wheat, almost like a. Honestly, what it smells like at this point is if you had a swedge of orange on a saltine cracker. Very citrusy. Now I'm getting sort of a spice profile, which you would expect from a hefeweizen. As you can see already, that head is starting to dissipate. So that's the thing about these beers, that they don't have an overly, at least the two that I've reviewed. Now, there's 3 more coming, and maybe I'll end up eating those words, but I've not seen an overly resilient head on these. Lots of carbonation though, and I don't see any reason to keep going blah blah blah. Let's get to drinking. Cheers. Well, that's not bad, actually. That's not bad at all. Not an overpowering flavor. I am definitely tasting that sort of orangey spice profile that you normally get from a Hefeweizen. This is actually pretty good. And I'm just remembering that last time I told you I would report back to you on um, how much influence the cannabis and the IPA had. I gotta tell you, none. But as I said before, edibles and beverages with cannabis, they don't seem to do much for me or to me. Maybe it's because I'm a big fat guy. I don't know, but I've never had much luck with edibles. Now, getting back to this beer, I'm going to describe it as a very low mouth feel. Definitely, like I said, getting orange in the spice profile. Absolutely no alcohol burn, of course, with a zero point 0.5 ABV. There would you wouldn't really expect one. Um, yeah, predominantly the orange is what comes through more than anything else on the notes of the tongue or the bouquet. Relatively low mouthfeel, as I said. I don't know what more to describe this. It's not bad, but I'm going to put it to you this way. It's not particularly noteworthy. Um, I gotta say though, honestly, and this is kind of strange because I prefer, of the two varieties, I definitely prefer IPA to hefeweizen. I think I like this one a little bit better. Um, Tropical Infamy is a good name for it because there does seem to be a real surplus of citrusy and even kind of fruity ness to this. Not to mention just that hint of, well, that spice profile you oftentimes in hefeweizens, but it's not overly spicy. So, I think the last one I gave a 3.25. I think this one I'm going to go ahead and give a 3.75 actually. It's a pretty good beer. It comes in a can, which I appreciate. And especially if you can get me to say that a Hefeweizen's a pretty good beer, you've really done something. So, gang, until next time, drink good beer. Don't break the bank doing it. Cheers. And also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And I appreciate you guys coming through. Cheers.